Yo, what's good in the web? Your man Q, aka the Geek, is back again. And I know, it's been a long time since you've seen my face. Show us your face! Show us your face! Your face! Ah! Hi there, friends. It's that time of the year again. You know what time it is. It is the annual video game Snub Awards. And listen, I'm just gonna put it right out there in the beginning of the video Video Game Awards 2024 is here, and roll that B-roll, please. The nominees for the Game of the Year are Astrobot, Botario, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring Shadow of the Entree. It's like probably a tree. It's a tree. It's not an entree. It ain't food. How did DLC get into the mix? Okay, we're gonna get to that later. Anyway. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is my game of the year, by the way. And then Metaphor Refantasio, which is my second game of the year. With 200 hours into Rebirth and with 156 and growing hours into Metaphor, how could I not care if it's either one of those? If either one of those becomes the game of the year, we as JRPG fans, I like to just say RPG fans, but exclusively, primarily JRPG fans are winning. But here goes the Snub Awards part. Even though Rebirth has 7 nominations, and even though Metaphor Refantasio has 6 nominations, and of course y'all gonna correct me if I got the nominations wrong, and that's cool. Just leave it in the comment section below. Just the fact to have an JRPG and RPG to win would be, have they ever had an RPG, a JRPG? I consider Zelda an RPG, and I'm not arguing about that today. I have my reasons. Also, there's a video here on the channel if you just wanna, maybe I do an info card. Check that out, my reasonings for that. But it's not gonna be that. Let's be real here, y'all. This man, Jeff, which a lot of people have been complaining about for years now, is more fixated on them rupees, that money, and making it more of a Hollywood affair rather than what we are here to see, which is the games. And I'm not saying that Astrobot is not a bad game. It's got millions and millions of fans, and it made millions and millions of dollars. The same thing goes for Botario. That's the only one I haven't played or messed with on here. No, I'll take that back. I'm lying. Elden Ring is just not for me, boys and girls, geeks of all ages, and I just really don't care about open world games like that. Now, I did like Wukong. That's also there, but the Rebirth and freaking Metaphor are not going to win the Game of the Year award. If you guys remember, I think it was 2021, 2022, I think it was 2021, where Tales of Arise won the RPG of the year, and the audacity for them not to even give Tales of Arise, which is actually one of the better Tales games, especially one of the more recent Tales games that everybody and their grandmama had access to. Well, if you had a PlayStation, and which, just take the numbers, a lot of people got PlayStation. And it's a JRPG on a JRPG behemoth system. Well, okay. On a system who has a lot of JRPGs. I'm not gonna call it a behemoth. PS4, was cool, but the PS2 and the PS1 was still better. Honestly, I ain't talking about PlayStation 3. That was what that was whatever. That was during a weird video game era time, where the Wii was like a novelty in my opinion. And then it took forever for the PlayStation 3 to actually like hit the gas and start doing something. And Xbox killed that generation. One of the reasons, in my opinion, my humble opinion, they had JRPGs. But back to the story at hand. It's not going to win. I will not be surprised if it's freaking Elden Ring the DLC or if it's Astro Bot, because it feels like it's going to be some kind of huge event or movie screening about the game and about both of those two games. And again, the Japanese role-playing games are going to just get left behind. I'm not going to sit here on this video and I don't have the time. Look how much time we already talked about here of every single award, but I will talk about the ones that I kind of feel are the most relevant, or that kind of I kind of want to talk about. The next one is Best Game Direction, and again we see Astro Bot, Blotario, Black Myth, Elden Ring. Why is a pre-existing game still? It's not fair that a DLC has I know what Elden Ring did, but it's not fair that the DLC, the downloadable content, is being considered the game of the year when it already has a established video game and video game base. Just like we've been clamoring and complaining about remasters and remakes being in their own category. Well, I know what Rebirth is, but in that case, then let's separate everything then. But even more, I mean, I can see a remaster. I'm not just saying it because of Rebirth, but I can see a remaster, even like Mario RPG or something being in the category versus downloadable content. Come on. Downloadable content, DLC, like it's not even a Also up for Best Game Direction is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Metaphor. I am torn here because actually I think that Metaphor actually has a better game direction than Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And the reason why is because they took Persona and they just made it a fantasy, which in all honesty, I'm gonna be real with you, it kind of feels like it fits better as a fantasy than it does as the tried and true Persona high schooler type games. All the same things are there in Persona that are in Metaphor, except one glaring thing. Atlas. I'll pay for some DLC for that. No romance system. The best musical score, Astro Bot also makes the list. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Metaphor hits again, Silent Hill, and Stellar Blade. Say what you want about Eve. Say what you want about Stellar Blade. Well, don't say nothing about Eve. Eve is a baddie. Like, you can talk. Even her model. you know? If you know, you know. But the music was really, really great, as well as the sound effects with that. I'm torn on this. I don't know who's really going to win this one. Honestly, for me, I haven't played Silent Hill 2, so it really is going to come between Stellar Blade, Final Fantasy Rebirth, and Metaphor. And honestly, it's a toss-up because Rebirth has some really great music, but that battle theme for Metaphor where they're chanting, like after battles, I'm laying in the bed thinking about that's being able to take music and then words inside of music, like taking a symphony or a score and then have that like them chants and that weird type church feel to it. It makes battles feel extra. For the best action adventure game, Astro Bot is nominated again. Prince of Persia, which, damn, maybe that didn't get enough light because of the fact bro had the Killmonger here. And, you know, us as black folks, especially, we do have other hair sets. I just want to throw that out there. Killmonger, one of the best movie cinema villains there been in a long time. So I get why they keep biting old bro's hair, but yeah. Let's bring back flat tops or something. Like, seriously. He got more hair than that. Star Wars Outlaws and The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. I'm going to go with my heart here, and I'm going to choose Echoes of Wisdom. Not only is it the first game that we actually got a chance to play as Zelda, although Zelda don't talk. So I guess if you're the protagonist, you can't speak. Okay, Nintendo. I don't understand that. I did like the dungeon crawling puzzle formations of the game and how it gave Zelda her own type of abilities, skills, and adventure. Because we never see Zelda. I would love to see her in a mainline Zelda game. Like, give me even just a piece of her being wise and being able to have some of these skills that she's doing, just solving puzzles in a mainline Zelda game. Like, it's got her damn name on the title. So that's my pick for the best action adventure game. The best RPG, the nominees are Dragon Dogma 2, Elden Ring, the DLC, Rebirth, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, and Metaphor. I said this before, I'm gonna say it again. And Infinite Wealth was a great game too. So many 100+ hour games this year, from Visions of Mana to Uten Chronicles, which, like, Uten Chronicles was really good. Grand Blue Fantasy, which people forget dropped in like February, was actually a good game too. I thought that it should have been more. We should have had the backstory first too. That would have been a really big game. I would have really liked to see that. They just assumed that everybody knew the story from the fighting game that dropped in 2014 and the anime. Well, not everybody did. Plus, I wanted to see, you know, Guan's whole story and Delita's whole story. I wanted to see, did I say Delita from Final Fantasy Tactics? Y'all know who I'm talking about. For those of y'all who play Grand Blue, you know who I'm talking about. It's the female version and the protagonist. The Legend of Zelda, but I'm going to have to go with Rebirth. And one of the reasons why I'm going to go with Rebirth, it's a slight bias. I mean, who isn't biased, especially about their favorite games? And Final Fantasy VII is my favorite Final Fantasy and was the whole reason that I bought a PlayStation 1, traded damn near all my Super Nintendo, Sega games and stuff in, just to get that and get Final Fantasy VII with no memory card. Got all the way to Reno, 10 hours in the game, got stuck in that damn triangle and had to go beg my moms to give me some money to buy a memory card because I exhausted all my funds. And you know what? I've been in love with the game ever since. Even with Eric's death, quite possibly the biggest spoiler in video games, you know, getting spoiled for me because apparently I was taking too long to get to that point. So somebody spoiled it for me. Even with all that, to be able to see and hear and visualize Final Fantasy VII, how in my head I had been imagining it for forever and a day, and to not only see Tifa, but Aerith, Yuffie to me stole a show like Jesse did in the remake. Barrett, Uncle Barrett, all of the characters, even weak-ass Cat Sith, which I really was never a real Cat Sith fan. I actually like Cat Sith. I actually liked him. I really wish that some of the things and characters we could have gotten played with this time around too before certain events and stuff happen. I get it's a remake. I get a lot of people said and were complaining that they didn't like some of the modern mechanics when it came to the game. And I'm like, well, you're complaining about this game, but you just played Wukong. You just sit here and played Elden Ring. You love Skyrim. You out here playing Breath of the Wild DLC and Tears of the Kingdom. I said it. And you just making lowriders and spaceships. But now, all of a sudden, when you have to do a quest and fetch with Tifa's neighbor's cat, you're complaining, but you weren't saying that when you were roaming lonely in damn Fallout New Vegas for 120 hours by yourself. I get it. I guess because you already know what the story is. Yeah, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was not perfect, but there's some hypocritical stuff when it comes to it a little bit. You know, how you gonna play one thing, but not gonna play something else like that, complain about it. As for me, I just don't really play those type of games like that. I'm talking about the open world games like that. They don't really interest me because I like a party. I like being around other characters and party members and love interests and bouncing those ideas and conversation and stuff between them, a la Xenoblade, a la Metaphor Refantasio, a la Final Fantasy Rebirth. It gets a little lonely being an only child. So I definitely don't want to play a game 200, 300 hours by myself. The best fighting games: Dragon Ball Z, Sparkling Zero, Grand Blue Fantasy vs. Rising, Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection, Multiverse, and Tekken 8. Believe it or not, these last couple of years have been really big when it came to fighting games. And Street Fighter 6, in my opinion, was the best fighting game last year. I don't really buy fighters other than Soul Calibur, which is damn near DOA when the next one comes out. Why? I can give you a reason. The DLC should not be more than a game. The DLC packs to build your character is more than a game. Whatever happened to those bare necessities? The milkman, the paperboy, even TV. What happened to being able to grind in a game so you can actually move up in the game? I guess that don't matter no more. When the loot is involved, I actually believe that it's going to go to Dragon Ball Z Sparkling Zero. I would say Dragon Ball Z Sparkling Zero, but you know what I mean. Dragon Ball Sparkling Zero, just because of the fanfare, how long people have been waiting for this game to drop, and then the memes, the gameplay, and the rage that it has ensued. If I had to give a number 2, it would be Tekken 8. But for me, I really feel that it's going to be Dragon Ball Sparkling. Best family game is between Astro Bot, Princess Peach Showtime, Super Mario Party Jamboree, The Legend of Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom, and The Plucky Squire. I'm going to give this one to Astrobot, even though I think it has a high chance to win Game of the Year, which for me is still kind of crazy. But I'm going to say that the best family game is not going to go to Nintendo this year. I actually think it's going to go to PlayStation with Astrobot. With all the skins and suits and the multiplayer ability, yeah, I'm going to give that nod to Astrobot for the best family game. The best strategy games: Age of Mythology, Frostpunk 2, Kensutsugami, Manor Lords, and Unicorn Overlord. Again, I got a little biasness. Atlas is the new king. I'm sorry, Square Enix. I'm sorry. And Monolith Soft, you out here doing your thing. But the way Sega and Atlas have been moving, and the way the other companies have been kind of like, not Monolith Soft, but the way a lot of these other RPG companies, Square Enix, I see you, been moving and only depending on one IP, Final Fantasy VII, I'm going to give that to Unicorn Overlord. I really enjoyed Unicorn Overlord. I love the art style. I love the music. It wasn't a perfect game, but if you haven't played it, it's definitely one of the better role-playing simulation games that's been out in a long time. It has like this old school tactics ogre feel, but anime-ish, if that makes sense. That's my strategy sim game that I think is going to win the Game of the Year. I said this wasn't going to be long. But lastly is the most anticipated games. Death Stranding 2 with Daryl from See, this is what happens in video games. And I ain't got nothing wrong with Daryl. I ain't got nothing wrong with Kojima. I just feel that a lot of the creativity got stifled when we start making games into the movie industry. When the movie industry started going down a little bit about 10 years ago, and they realized around that time with the Wii that in Xbox and PlayStation 3 during that era, that they realized, oh shit, this is making more money than the movie industry, and people don't mind sitting at home buying a console or playing on their PC and playing a game, and they're making millions upon millions of dollars. It's a gift and a curse. Gamers aren't ostracized as much as we used to be. However, the movie industry has crept in, and now everybody got a face that look like an actor. Ghost of Yoti, that's the Ghost of Tsushima. I know I butchered the name. Y'all will correct me. I know. I'll be better. Grand Theft Auto 6, Metroid Prime 4, and Monster Hunter Wilds. For me, it's easy. It's GTA 6. We've been waiting for another Grand Theft Auto since when? When has it been? 2013, 2014? We haven't had a new GTA in a long time. And not only is it going to be a female protagonist, but it's also the first time that is a female and folks of a Latin descent. So this game is going to be one that's going to be huge, and it's taking place in Miami. Welcome to Miami, Little Mito, Miami. You don't remember that Fresh Prince song? Nobody? I just date myself again. I was born in 1900s. What do you want from me? For those of y'all who don't know, I didn't want to see Metroid Prime 4. I did not want to see another first-person shooter. I wanted to see Metroid in an open-world game, in space, like Mass Effect, with some of those, like, No Man's Sky elements. And I know a lot of people didn't want to see that. I did. Personally, how come Mario and Link and everybody else, even freaking Pokemon, took a different leap or a different step? And from watching people's reactions, it wasn't just me, a lot of folks thought that this Metroid Prime 4 was like a remastered 2 or 3. So it wasn't just me. I wanted to see Sammy in space and actually give her damn ship a name so we can traverse space and actually do what she does, what her damn profession is, and go and get bounties in different places, randomly find planets, fight pirates randomly, and then if you want to implement certain areas where she has to wrap up in the ball, if you want to implement certain action sequences, or even the Metroidvania that levels that she coined in the 80s, 86, 87, you can put that in there too, and then you can even have the whole first-person shooter visor part where you have to do certain moments in first-person shooter mode. A lot of games don't do that. I'm not getting real passionate, right? A lot of games don't do that anymore, where you're able to change the actual type of gameplay within the game. But those are the ones that I would want to see the most, or that's the one I want to see the most, is GTA 6. I think that's the most anticipated game. I won't be surprised if that one's not the most anticipated game. Metroid's got a lot of fans, and so does Monster Hunter Wilds. But I really see the overwhelming abundance of people voting for GTA 6. But it's been a long video, guys. That's all I got for you. That's all I got. That was a lot, right? My mouth dry, sip a little tea. Ginger. If you did like this video, do me a favor and hit that like button. It really helps the channel out a lot, and it's free 99. You know, it don't cost you nothing to like a video. You want to watch this long? You want to help a brother out? We trying to get to 5K before the end of the year. It's possible. Like Kevin Garnett said, anything's possible. Also, if you want to stay up to date with all things games, entertainment, anime, sprinkle with a little bit of that comedy, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I make geekly content here on the channel all the time. And let me know in the comment section below, what are your Game of the Year picks? Did I get any of y'all's right? Are we on the same page with anything? I know Y'all all gonna vote for Elden Ring. I get it. I'm in the minority. I know. Jeff won. It's his Game Awards. He can do whatever he wants to do. At least he has pretty hosts, right? And as always, in the web, remember to eat, geek, sleep, repeat. I'll holler at you on the next one. Peace!